How's it going, everyone? Today I'm going to be showing you how to take a photo from this to this in Adobe Lightroom. Let's go. Before we get started, if you want to hit me with a follow on Instagram, super active on there, so if you want to keep up with me, you know where to find me. Alright, first things first, now that we're in Lightroom, I want to go ahead and crop this image. This is what it looks like straight out of the camera, but I do want to make adjustments to the composition here. Instagram's standard format is 4:5. But if you're going to do something like Instagram stories, 9:16 is your way to go. In this case, we're just going to keep it 4:5. So I'm just looking to have the main subject here, and then I'm going to have this secondary subject right at this intersection. So if we hit enter, you can see the image is perfectly cropped, and we can start editing. Let's mess around with the exposure. I think with this image, I want to go a little bit darker just to start with, and then we can bump that back up later. Contrast, I think we have enough of that. But let's go mess with the S-curve. I think we have enough contrast, so we're not going to mess with that part. I think we can keep that there. I'm going to bring down the highlights as we're kind of getting blown out by the sky here, which we'll fix in a minute. I do want the shadows to be pretty bright on this image. So for white, I'm going to go up to maybe 5, and then black I'll just leave at 0. One thing I forgot to mention is if you're taking this photo off of an actual camera as opposed to an iPhone, be sure to get your lens correction enabled here. That will help with the distortion if you're using like a wide lens. But back up the temperature, I'm gonna go a little bit warmer because I am doing landscape. I like to go a bit warmer for those. I don't know why that was already adjusted, but we're gonna keep that at 5. Next thing I want to do is I'm gonna create a mask for the sky here. So once we have this selected, I'm gonna bring down the highlights once again so we get a little bit of that color back and that detail. One thing that also helps is dehaze. If you give it a little bit of dehaze, you can kind of get that detail back. So now that we have the sky masked out, we can start messing with the colors here. So for greens, you can go one or two ways. You can go really saturated green, or I like to kind of go this green. For this image, it looks pretty good. And for the blues, since we have the sky here, if we adjust the hue, you can see it changes the tone of the sky. You don't want to go too crazy with this. Like blues are really easy to see, but you can do something like that. Boost the saturation up just a bit. Luminance, you kind of want to bring that down. I think we are set for the color. Now we're coming down to effects. This is where we kind of add detail to our image. Give it a bit of texture. I'd say 10 to 15 is a good amount. Anything above that kind of looks weird, in my opinion. Oh, am I like this the whole time, bro? It's bad. I'd boost textures up to about like 12. Clarity, don't overuse this. I beg you, please don't. I'll show you what I mean. Don't do that. Just I'd give it about 10 as well. I'll leave dehaze alone for now. Grain, I'll leave that alone as I want this image pretty sharp. I'd say I'm almost done here. I just want to go in with some masking. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make another mask because I want to do a linear gradient coming up here. We have a lot of negative space, so I want to darken that. You can mess around with the alignment here. See what you like, see what looks good. I do want to bring emphasis on this main temple here, so I am going to darken this just quite a bit. We can create another mask over here. We're going to create a radial, drag that like an oval, kind of align that with the linear gradient here. You can adjust the hardness from this middle oval. I'm going to bring up the exposure and then make up for that by bringing down the highlights and like bring shadows down as well. You can take black to -2 and just ensure that it balances with the rest of the image here. If you want to go even crazier, you can create another linear gradient, something like that, just to kind of like simulate the sun. Bring the brightness up just a bit, and there you go, a fully edited image just like that. You can go into this further by like going into Photoshop and removing people and refining your details, but completely up to you and your photo. But let me know what you think. Do you like the photo? If you do, leave it in the comments. If you don't,